All right, this is my 9K per month update video. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the Stripe just because I see people doing that now. Um, but yeah, so I'm just making this video again. It's just another update in my journey, another update, kind of just documenting the way and something for me to be able to look at and, years down the line and just kind of updates like, wow, I did it. I went through all the things, but when I'm in a point where I'm making 20 or 30 or 50 or 100,000 a month, as opposed to this. But honestly, it's funny because like I started making these videos. I've recorded every $1,000 of monthly recurring revenue when I've hit it, just because I wanted a library to look back on. Um, but I think after like the 7K mark, it didn't really, I guess it's more so like the identity shift of at the very beginning, I felt like I was just scrambling for everything. Like you're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall. And I had one of my mentors that kind of said like from 0 to 5K, it feels like you are just, basically just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. And I totally understand that. I think when I hit my first like 7K month, it's kind of when I transitioned to, feeling more like an operator and more like, the identity difference of like, oh, okay, I actually do this. This is what I do. Because you kind of start to look around and you think about, what other people are making and it's not just kind of maybe a little side hustle, quote unquote, that it feels like at the beginning, especially when you hear, people around you, maybe friends or family making those passing comments of like, oh, it's nice you're trying this thing out, or kind of asking you questions to judge and see where you're at subconsciously. Because that's exactly what it felt like for a very long time. Like I've said in my other videos, for myself and anybody else who watches it, uh, it took me about 4 or 5 months to get to $1,000. As you can see here, I was at 5K last month, so I've added about $4,000 in the last month. Um, and that has all come from basically being in the shit and being just, in the weeds and just trying every day and having a lot of tears, having a lot of days where I was, kind of had just sitting at my desk or going on a walk, like, what the hell am I doing? This feels so impossible. Um, I remember I took a voice memo on my phone when I had first hit, like, I think it was 3K or something, because I was so proud of it. And then the moment that I hit that number, I had a client leave. And it was just so hard. And then the next day, somebody did too. And just looking back on those moments and being able to think about it and think about the struggle and not giving up and continuing to push through is really nice. It's really nice. And again, like I've said, and for myself, I'm not, this is not like me saying I've arrived or anything, because I feel so far from that. Like I'm not happy with this. I have huge goals for where I want to go. Personally, I've set my big goal to cross 30K a month, by the end of this upcoming year, in monthly recurring revenue. And it might sound crazy to people and maybe even to me, but I truly believe that that's possible. I think you can do anything at this point. I was sitting, I was sitting kind of at a cafe at the beginning of this year, having absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I thought I was going to do like social media marketing. I thought I was going to, start like a Google Ads agency or something. Just scrolling around on YouTube and on the internet, and just knowing to myself, like, I have no idea exactly how I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to make this work. It's going to happen. I'm going to get there. I'm going to do the thing that it takes to get there. And I think it's just like, I've been like lucky enough to build a cool community of people that are, chasing their dreams and building businesses. And I truly believe that now. I just truly believe that if you have a goal and you are willing to basically just go through the shit every single day and not give up, that you'll get there. I mean, anybody that listens to Alex Hormozy talks about it all the time. Like, you know, get better, don't stop, and on a long enough time horizon, you'll achieve success. So, I mean, I'm not there. I don't feel anywhere near what my potential is. I make these videos more so just for myself to kind of, something to be able to take a look at, because it's cool to be able to take a look at the video of me when I got my first client, or when I made my first $1,000. But I'm excited to set my sights on much more and to grow this year, and to know that it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to wake up to messages of somebody leaving, or something breaking, and a client gets pissed for whatever reason, or things just aren't going well. Like, that's just part of it. And I think that has been, maybe for anybody that's just starting out, or that's kind of in the trenches just like me, I think that has been one of the biggest mindset shifts that has helped me so much, is realizing that it's supposed to be hard. Like, you're not going to get to this point where, like, that everybody sells you on Instagram or YouTube, of where you're just, you're sitting in your supercar on the beach somewhere and nothing goes wrong ever. Because that's just not how it is. Like, it's a constant battle every single day. Every single day, it's a constant battle, and you feel like you're fighting for your life. And I still do, because you are, when you're building something, and you're trying to create financial freedom for yourself on your own terms. And so, yeah, I mean, again, this is, completely unedited, just kind of raw thoughts here about the process, and where I'm at now and where I want to go. So yeah, I would say that mindset shift of, regardless of where you're at, myself included, just realizing it's supposed to be hard, continue pushing through it, realizing that it's possible. Again, I said at the beginning of this year, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to build a business, and I'm not going to stop. And it's cool to look at, like, pictures, or voice memos, or videos of me, right when I started, when I was sitting on my computer trying to figure out how to send a calendar link to somebody, because I couldn't, I had to get on a support call to figure out how to send a calendar booking link to somebody. Um, and Yeah, guys, just keep going, don't stop. I think at this point for me, in terms of, maybe anybody that's around this mark, or around this point, I think I've realized a lot more, and, talking with other people as well, that now systems are extremely important. I didn't really think about that at the beginning, but having systems to where, you know everything flows a lot smoother, from sales to onboarding to fulfillment and client retention. Being able to track all your metrics, track all your numbers, and just start running the business on data and not emotion. That's huge. So, not worrying about, oh, people aren't picking up the phone, or people aren't joining my calls, but now I can look at a spreadsheet where I've tracked everything, and I've said, okay, nobody's picking up my call. Well, I've only made 20 calls, or nobody's showing up to my sales calls. Well, you need to set more meetings. And just being able to look at numbers and run your business like that, as opposed to just, emotions. So yeah, not too much to say. I've had a big goal of hitting, 10K. Obviously, everybody has that shoved down their throat from the moment they start an online business, of 10K this, 10K that. But I know it'll just be like this. I'll look at the number on a screen, and it won't be about that. It'll just be about the feeling of winning, the feeling of growing, and developing personally. Because I've talked with a lot of people, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was in school, but I was always so into personal development and growth. And I think for anybody that is like that, starting a business is so cool, and such a way to, like, feed that desire, because, kind of like I said, it's, you're just forced to solve problems all day long, and it's exhausting and tiring. But I truly, truly, truly have never felt more excited to be alive. And I've never felt more excited to get up in the morning and work on what I'm working on. I'm not, I guess sometimes it's exciting to, I'm like waiting for Saturday to have, like, maybe a perceived break, but I feel excited to wake up in the morning. I'm excited about what I'm working on. I'm excited about getting clients results. I'm just excited, and it's a cool feeling. And so yeah, just keep going. I just remember at the beginning of this year, I was, sitting in a coffee shop. I didn't make a single dollar for over 2 months, and it took me, 4 or 5 months to get to $1,000. But I knew then that I would make it happen, and I wouldn't stop. And this is, at this exact moment, I know that now. I'm going to hit my goals. I'm going to hit the 10K. I'm going to hit the 20, 30K a month, and just keep going from there. And so yeah, again, just nowhere near where I want to be, but knowing it's possible and knowing you just got to keep moving forward, pushing through all the shit, pushing through the hard days, and just keep going.